Happy Thursday night and welcome to Season 4, Episode 18 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Lidskin. And joining us tonight, a guest that's been a long time coming. We've been trying to get him on for months. Kevin Sweeney, Sports Illustrated. How you doing tonight?
What's up, fellas? Glad we could finally make it work.
Yeah, and this is a big episode because it's the Feast Week preview. I mean, even last year when we didn't do even close to this many episodes, we did a big Feast Week preview. There's a lot of events going on that we're going to have to discuss, but we do also have to cover some of the stuff that's happened since our last show. Feast Week actually started this morning, really, with a really good game between Vermont and Charleston, and then a really, really basketball game between St. John's and North Texas.
Yeah, that was a tough watch.
Yeah, but North Texas, I think a lot of people kind of assumed that they weren't going to be very good this year because they lost McCaslin and Perry and Huntsberry and Usman. But this is still a team that will definitely be competing for an NIT spot. Ross Hodge is a great coach. He knows what it takes to win. He brought in some really good JUCOs. He brought in some good transfers as well. They have a couple guys back from last year as well. I like North Texas. And they're going to still try and muck up a game just like they did last year.
Yeah, I mean, they can drag into the mud. That's what they did in the second half, especially. I felt like St. John's obviously is still learning, and I thought the defensive effort, especially in the first half, was really good for them. And the most important thing is they found a way to win, right? I mean, especially in MTs, and I tweeted this, right? Like, that first game is everything from an opportunity standpoint, and especially, I think, this tournament, right, where you have basically an even split between highs and mids, right? Like, St. John's getting the winner's bracket basically ensures themselves quad 1 and quad 2 games the rest of the way. That's great opportunity, and again, worst case, they lose them and go back home with a win that might mean something against North Texas.
Yeah, it's all about that first game to make sure you're getting on the winner's side of these brackets. And then there was I X'd out of the tab. Never mind, I did not X out of the tab. I just clicked through another tab. And then there was that Dayton LSU game was another pretty tough watch. I mean, Dayton took a lot of threes. This is a team that past few years has not been a big three-point shooting team, and they just came out this first half chucking up everything, and it was not working.
I'm fairly certain that LSU is going to be one of the worst two teams in the SEC. Like, especially without Jalen Cook. Like, this team just is going to struggle to initiate offense on the perimeter.
Yeah, I was not impressed at all by LSU in this one. I was not impressed at all by Dayton in this one. It was pretty rough. St. Bonaventure took out Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, I would be very surprised if Mike Boynton got another year at this point.
I think maybe it's early to be there. They are young. I think the thing that was frustrating for me with this game was, like, it wasn't the young guys that made mistakes, right? Like, the two critical moments in the game for Oklahoma State were a foul by Mike Marsh or Matt Marsh, I forget the first name, I apologize. The big kid from Jacksonville, 90 feet from the rim, making a mental mistake. And then John Michael Wright getting caught ball watching and then barreling over a bad three-point shooter and giving away free throws. Like, it just can't happen. It's, those are the types of things that lose you basketball games. Lost them one today. They'll obviously have incredible opportunity in the Big 12 schedule to bounce back. And, I just think right now they're playing too many bodies, right? Like, it's hard to establish a rhythm when there's subs every 2 minutes. And I just think they're struggling to get there. I think there's enough pieces here where they could figure it out. But you don't want to dig yourself too deep a hole. So far, they have started to with the two losses that I think Bonaventure will be a fine loss. Shit, I mean, Abilene
probably ends up quad 2.
Yeah, Abilene might not even. I mean, Abilene will be fine. I think it probably will be quad 3 just because it's at home. But I do think they're improved. So it is what it is. But that's a game you won if you're Oklahoma State, and they probably should have won it. They were the better team.
Yeah, and just by sheer amount of teams in the Big 12 pecking order that are above them, they probably don't get a ton of wins in that conference. They won't. I highly doubt they get to 500 in that conference, and it's going to be tough to make the tournament below 500 in the conference with a loss to Abilene Christian and St. Bonaventure. Not that Bonaventure is bad, but honestly, they didn't really show me much in their first two games. They showed some fight tonight without two veterans.
Yeah, and on the Bonaventure side of this, like you all of a sudden go from nearly losing to Longwood and then actually losing to Canisius to possibly picking up a quad 2 and a quad 1 win in back-to-back days to completely turn things around.
Well, I mean, it's going to be tough tomorrow against either Auburn or Notre Dame.
Yeah, that game's still fairly close.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later, but anything else from today that you wanted to go over before we get into the nitty-gritty of the show?
It's been relatively quiet. I will say our friends over at UMass Lowell are just pounding Arizona State right now. We'll see if that stands, but file that one under least surprising things that I've seen today.
Yeah, we'll have our eyes on that. I have the stat broadcast feed on my computer screen right now. It's 34-26 with 18:25 to go in that one. I did say on Tuesday night that UMass Lowell was going to win that game, but honestly, anybody that's been following either of those teams probably would have said the same.
Indiana's still a disaster. They played terrible defense and Wright State didn't have Trey Calvin.
But they did score a lot today. And
they did score a lot, yeah.
It's a step in the right direction for them.
They did one thing well. Yeah, they hadn't been doing anything well before. So that's it.
Did you see Sam, did you see what Greg
Yes, I did. Free throw defense.
That's what they're good at.
Yeah. Houston, still Houston. They just smothered Towson defensively. We all pretty much saw that coming. BU crushed Bryant. BU is a team that was like 358th in offense, and they scored 95 against Bryant. Not a great start for the permanent Phil Martelli Jr. era. And then Liberty
controlling that game against Furman's pretty notable.
Yeah, and Marcus Foster had 30 for Furman, but Liberty had 4 guys in double figures. And overall, Liberty's still pretty good.
Yeah, like it's Richie McKay. I mean, obviously, Bob Ritchie kind of has built a similar consistency, but there's not 20 ball coaches in the country I'd want in my corner more than Richie McKay. And they have a road win at Charlotte. Just blew out Furman today. I think they have a real chance to win this tournament. Obviously, it's a relatively underwhelming field from a big brand standpoint. Not probably something that will move the needle for them resume-wise overly, but those are that was a real impressive performance today against Furman, and looking forward to seeing where they are. But to be this efficient offensively post Darius McGee is a testament to just how good Rich McKay is.
Yeah, and we're actually going to start there with the MTE preview. I think tomorrow for Charleston is a huge game. They've already picked up 2 losses, granted to good opponents, and they do have that win over Iona, but they really can't lose a third in a row to Wyoming. That would. I mean, they didn't lose 3 games last year until February.
I mean, I guess the way I would put it is that we don't putting 3-loss season expectations on Charleston's not fair, right? They have new faces, and last season's was buoyed by playing on their home court in the MTE and building a lot of confidence out of that, playing a weak schedule, playing a down CAA. Charleston can still be a good basketball team. They have work to do. I don't think they're a finished product, but I also thought that there were really good moments today. And when the wheels came off, they just didn't really know how to stop the train from coming off the tracks. And Vermont, a really well-coached team, came and got them. So, I think Wyoming's interior size will be an interesting test with with Charleston's. That was something that Duquesne was able to hang, beat them on the glass, or at least hang. I think it was a 1 point battle on the glass. Like, we could play Charleston even on the glass, and then not just let your guards make plays. You have a good chance. And I don't know if Wyoming has the guards. Their guards played really poorly today, but I think they certainly have the size. And Maniau, the freshman, was really impressive.
Yeah,
from a pure resume perspective and season expectation perspective, tomorrow doesn't really mean much. Sure, it would be nice to pick up a win, but if this team is going to get back to the NCAA tournament again, it's going to be through an auto bid.
Yeah, and the other thing about that is you look at the non-conference schedule that they have still going. I mean, at Kent State, neutral against Liberty, at FAU, they have to play St. Joe's. Those are the way that Charleston's been playing this year. I would not be surprised if they lost all those games, and at that point, you're looking at an NIT bubble. So just for the rest of this Myrtle Beach Invitational, who do you guys think is going to win this one?
I think it would be hard not to like Liberty here. I mean, I just said it, but they're off. That's such an impressive performance. The offense is super dynamic, obviously. Obviously Wichita has gotten probably off to a better start than I would have anticipated. Paul Mills still really sharp offensive mind. I think that's helped them. But I just think Liberty kind of culturally is ahead of the curve there, and we'll find a way.
Yeah, I think I'll go Liberty, and I think they'll end up beating Vermont in that final. Vermont, St. Louis has also been better than I expected. A bunch of teams here better than I expected. A bunch of teams here worse than I expected. So,
yeah, I'm going Liberty too. I picked Charleston at Silver Sword. So,
hey, if you told me last year that we'd get a first round MDE matchup between St. Louis and Wyoming, I would have been really excited. Both those teams absolutely flopped last year, and they honestly maybe came into the season with too low of expectations. Is that possible?
I mean, in terms of St. Louis, how surprised would you be if they finished in the top 4 in the A10 at this point? The conference is a just complete wreck. Nobody's good.
Nobody's good. On to the Charleston Classic, which is what Charleston won last year. St. John's, obviously that grinded out win against North Texas. Dayton, that last second win over LSU. Houston, pounding Towson, and right now Utah and Wake Forest are locked in a good one. Who do we? I mean, we're all going to pick Houston here, right?
It has to be. Yeah, I mean, they're ahead of the curve just from a coaching and understanding of what it takes to play that system standpoint. They also have the best guards in the tournament. I'd be surprised if anyone pushes them seriously. I think it would be a step for anyone to push them.
Yeah, Houston's always a team that at the start of the year, just because their players know their system so well, they look way better than everyone else. That's why you see all these games that they play against, these bye games that they play that end up 73-37 and stuff like that. I agree with you. They're way ahead of these other teams. They will probably win every game by double digits in this tournament, and pretty much coast.
Yeah, they didn't play an MTE last year, which honestly I wish they did, because that team was that team never really got enough respect for how good they were, I thought, from just college basketball fans in general. And maybe if they played an MTE and won it, the narrative would have been a little different around them, even though, they ended up losing to Miami there. Overall, though, this Utah-Wake Forest game is actually a pretty interesting game because both of these teams, I feel, have something to prove. If you look at Wake Forest, it's been a few years where they're really close, but they can't quite crack the tournament. This is a game that a tournament team wins against Utah, and again, a tournament team would beat Wake Forest, at this point in the season, a team that. So I think both of these teams, if they want to get over that hump, this is one of those games where you can start, where you can look back and say, all right, we had a good win here. We're building off that, and obviously whoever wins this game is gonna end up losing to Houston tomorrow. But it's still an important one to kind of just set off on the right foot in terms of playing against better competition this year. I think Wake Forest played someone good last week.
They lost to Georgia by 3.
Right, yeah. And like that's a game the tournament team wins. This is another game the tournament team wins. Wake Forest really can't afford to have 2 of those losses already because the ACC is honestly I don't know what I'm getting at right now. Honestly, I'm just saying words.
Yeah, Wake's a team that I had, if not in my top 50, near my top 50. I think their guards are really good, and obviously a win here would be probably quad 2 at worst. So a loss tomorrow to Houston's not going to really hurt you. Wake needs to get out of this tournament 2-1, I think, if they want to be taken seriously.
They're up 10 right now. The second half just started, so definitely like a take care of business game for both of these teams, really, if they want to get to that next level. And for Wake, especially now that they're up 10 and already have that loss, getting another would be difficult. UMass Lowell now up by 12. Arizona State no field goals in the last 2.5 minutes. So,
by the way, absolutely nobody's surprised. Like Connor Salas is just a completely different player now.
Moving on to the Bahamas Championship. This is an interesting one. You have 4 high majors. You have Miami, Georgia, Kansas State, and Providence. I saw some news on like Naquan Tomlin today. He's still not playing in this though, right?
Doesn't seem likely. Yeah, I think they just need more time to get the legal situation squared away.
Yeah. So Miami against Georgia and Kansas State, Providence. I think we're probably going to end up with Providence and Miami in the final here. We all agree on that.
I think the only thing with Providence K-State is just, I think Providence is probably the better team right now. But the one thing I will say is the reason Providence won that game against Wisconsin was they were just so far superior athletically. Like Devin Carter and their guards and Pierre, like they're just much bigger, stronger, quicker. They won't have that edge against K-State, and particularly in like a one-off situation when you're playing a guy like Perry who can light it up from deep. That can cause some problems for Providence. Playing away from the dunk can cause problems for Providence. I know this isn't a Cooley team, but like we're still kind of learning what that looks like. And that was like a pretty standard dunk show on Tuesday night. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if K-State won it, but certainly it's, again, we talk importance of game 1, right? It's a huge game for them. Opportunity for Providence to get into the winner's bracket, get a crack at a Miami team that's ranked, would get if Providence can get out of this 2-0, they're going to have a heck of a resume heading into post-Thanksgiving.
And I think from like a pure just like evaluation of what the win would mean for Providence, it's so tough to prepare for Miami on a one-day scout like that. And so I think just if Providence got the win, it could tell us a lot about Kim English as a coach. And if he can succeed to maybe a certain level above expectation in year 1.
Yeah, and I mean, I think K-State is probably a better, as you mentioned, a better physical matchup than Wisconsin was. Sorry, they match up better than Wisconsin did physically. I mean, Wisconsin really doesn't have any of those bigger body types that are a little bit more mobile. Kansas State has a few more of those guys that are a little bigger and can play on the outside compared to Wisconsin, like a Kaluma or Gassan. These are guys that are better athletic matchups for Hopkins and company than really anyone Wisconsin had to offer. So but I mean, Hopkins wasn't the reason that Providence won that game. They were just, I mean, Wisconsin couldn't make a shot. Providence did have just that major athleticism advantage. And I do think overall they're a better team right now than a Tomlin-less Kansas State. But I think I may have jumped a little bit by just implying they were going to win this game. And I do think Miami will take this tournament, even though they haven't looked. I mean, they haven't looked quite as good as maybe I would have thought. I mean, that FIU game, they allowed 80 points to FIU, but Miami's still Miami. They do a lot of the Miami things. Matthew Cleveland has been awesome, and they have a great starting lineup. They have Kaishan George off the bench, and I think they're the most talented team in this tournament.
Yeah, it's also like this is who Miami's been. Right? Like they gave 105 to Cornell last year. They played FAU close 2 years ago when FAU was just okay. Canisius close when the Canisius was really bad. Like their defense does lend itself to closer by games. So I'm not like raising too many alarm bells. I think it's why their metrics are always a little low. They're dangerous, obviously, in a tournament setting because of their guard play, and I don't think that really changes. But also the consistency level has to be a little bit better, and see if it's different this year than it's been in the past.
All right. I don't think we really have major thoughts on the Paradise Jam. I mean, there's Fordham's in there, FGCU, Kent State. Like, it's not a bad tournament, but I don't think we should spend much time talking about it right now. So the main event, which is St. Mary's, San Diego State, Washington, and Xavier, is definitely an interesting one in Vegas starting tomorrow night, 9:30. I cannot believe St. Mary's, San Diego State is on ESPN+.
Welcome to
2023. Yeah.
I know both those teams have picked up an early season loss, but that's a game that to a team from Utah. That's a game that everyone in the college basketball world should be watching, because these are two of the top programs out west, year in, year out, two of the top coaches year in, year out, and culture wise, they're always up there, and they always. This is just going to be such a fun matchup. Jaden Ledee has broken out like crazy so far. I think he's averaging like 25 and 9 for San Diego State this year. That's going to be an interesting matchup with how does St. Mary's really deal with that. And then obviously there's the Mahaney factor. He's a superstar. And I mean, Weber State kind of shut him down in the second half, but this St. Mary's team, we know how good they can be. San Diego State the same way. I think that's really the de facto championship, and that's no disrespect to Washington and Xavier. And I think Washington's pretty solid, even though they lost to Nevada, and Xavier's obviously not bad either, even with the front court issues.
Yeah, I think athletically we've seen some challenges for St. Mary's in the past, and in these up games, especially in early season stuff. I mean, I think it was 2 years ago that they lost to Vandy, and that wasn't a good Vandy team. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like I was in Mackey on Monday, and I thought Xavier was better than I would have expected them to be at this point, just given everything they've gone through injury wise. Obviously, big question is Djokovic availability. If he's a go, I mean, Sean speaks super, super highly of him, and that would move the needle for me. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won this thing if he's there, because their young guards are really good. Still kind of getting McKnight and Oliveri up to speed, but like, man, is Trey Green impressive. So, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Xavier won it. Would be surprised if Washington did. And then obviously, I mean, San Diego State, St. Mary's will be really fun. Two great programs, two strong defensive teams. Curious to see how San Diego State defends. I mean, gave up some points to BYU. BYU has been like a random wagon to start the year. They didn't really see that coming. So try to figure out like, what is that noise? Is that a sign of things to come? How much should we worry about a BYU loss for San Diego State? I guess we'll see. But that's really what I'm watching, is how good does San Diego State look against a somewhat known commodity St. Mary's team.
Yeah, and I think we might see a lot of Jefferson on Ledee. I mean, that's just an interesting matchup. And obviously we'll see Saxon on him in the low post, but we'll also – Ledee's been shooting threes. He's been getting out there and handling the ball. So we're going to see a little bit of Jefferson maybe on him. And I just think he's a mismatch at this point for most teams in the country, because Ledie's so strong and he can finish in the paint. And now he can step out and handle, which was just something that totally took me by surprise. What is going on here? Last year, I was like, him taking a jump shot should be illegal in every state. And now he's like shooting threes and making mid-range jumpers, pull up. Like, what is going on?
I think in terms of the St. Mary's San Diego State game, probably trust St. Mary's a little bit more. San Diego State's still figuring some stuff out. A lot shallower of a bench than Brian Dutcher usually goes. Like, I think he only had like 6 guys play 15 minutes or something like that in their last game, which has not been the case the last couple of years. So I expect St. Mary's to win that one. But yeah, if Djokovic is playing for Xavier, their guards are just really good and could absolutely win that one.
Yeah, I want to move forward to the Empire Classic, which is where I'll be on Sunday and Monday at the Garden, the greatest building on the planet. And that's going to be such a interesting tournament because the first 2 games seem like such mismatches. And then it's just, I am almost 100% certain we're going to end up with UConn, Texas, which is going to be a really fun matchup if we indeed get that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be shocked if it's anything else. I think there's a lot to learn about all these teams in this event, right? Like with Louisville, like here's your measuring stick. Like, are they competitive against high major competition? I have very little confidence they will be. But we get to see it, right? We haven't yet. With Texas, like haven't played anybody, haven't looked overwhelming, still trying to get Dessou back. So, you know, how much do we overvalue this weekend? I don't know, but you know, I've been lower on Texas throughout the offseason, so this is a good chance, especially if we get a UConn matchup of like, all right, like how good is this team? How much can they break through and really push people in the Big 12 race? And then Indiana, like they've been a mess in these bye games, and the thing that has resonated with me is like it hasn't seemed like it's just effort stuff, right? It'd be one thing if they were lollygagging around. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like they have some pretty good flaws, and UConn certainly has the talent to expose them. But you know, most of this UConn team hasn't. You know, a lot of these guys have not played, at least in these roles in big games. So, just curious how everyone responds. I think UConn's obviously the overwhelming favorite. Would be very surprised if Texas beat them. Although maybe if Castle's out, that would impact some things a little bit. It should be fun. You know, I'll be at MSG as well. So,
all right, I will see you there. There's a lot of people coming there. I know Pat's going to be there. We had Pat on Monday night. I know, obviously, I'm going with Jaden. So we're going to have a lot of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Stealers guests there at that event. I mean, Cam Spencer in his first big game as a Husky. I mean, he had a really big performance this weekend. And it was not the weekend. It was Tuesday. Everything blends together when you're just watching college basketball all this time, and it's the early season, and there's no set week format. But he had a great game with Castle out. He started to hit his shots. Donovan Clingan, he hasn't had to play very many minutes, and his career high in minutes is 23. That was against Mississippi Valley State on Tuesday. How many minutes is UConn going to be able to get out of him? I think pretty much every team in this tournament is at some level an unknown commodity, and will have a lot to learn. As you mentioned, I mean, how much can UConn get from Clingan minutes-wise? Is Samson Johnson really going to be that big of an impact player when Clingan's not on the court? Because he's looked like it in these 3 games, but he hasn't played much at all in the first 2 years. So there's still a lot to learn there. And with Caravan stepping up into a new position, and UConn, they might be the most known commodity of these 4 teams, and there's still a lot of question marks. I think we'll get positive answers from them, but there's still questions that linger.
Sam, by the way, I'm picking UConn in this tournament, but
yeah.
you should know Caleb Grill was just tossed out of the game for Mizzou.
Oh boy, that is certainly something that could be on the Caleb. That is certainly something that could be on the Caleb Grill bingo card.
Should not be all surprising if you've ever heard any.
No, I know the story.
Yeah,
I at least I know the story from what I've heard from friends at Iowa State.
It's very much on the bingo card.
But yeah, what happened was he took a 3 late in the shot clock. Minnesota kid closed out. Might have hit him late, but probably was closer to a flop than an actual foul. He said something to the ref as he was getting up, got teed up, and then bumped into the ref as he was walking into the bench and got tossed out of the game. So
can't do that.
Minnesota leads by 15.
Yeah, Minnesota with this is a statement for Minnesota, and it's definitely a cry for help almost for Missouri.
I was going to say I think it's a far more real statement about Missouri, but
yeah, I mean, just maybe Minnesota not being quite as bad. it's a step in the right direction, and for Missouri, this is alarming. I mean,
we have no alpha. I mean, I'm going to say it over and over again. There's no best player on this team. There's no player that can go get them a bucket when they need to, and they don't play nearly good enough defense to prevent that.
Yeah, but they have no size. They have no difference makers talent-wise. Like, they spent the offseason accumulating shooters, which is great if you have someone who can, like, put pressure on the defense and kick it out.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, their best scorer to me is, like, just on paper is John Tonje, and John Tonje seems to be in the doghouse. So I don't know, like, what we're thinking here. There's no interior presence. Like, it's rough. And I think obviously Dennis is going to be fine. Dennis is going to recruit his way out of this because, like,
he basically already has recruited his way out of it.
Right. But this is not pretty.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Mizzou is that, like, they have almost like more playable guys than basically anyone in the country, but they don't have one guy that really makes you scared in your scouting report. So, I mean, they could have some really tough games, but they could also have games where they'll stick around when they really shouldn't, because there's enough guys that maybe on one night can catch fire, and maybe someone you didn't pay as much attention to in the scouting report, because there's just a lot of guys out there that can make some sort of an impact. Moving forward, I don't really have much on the Jacksonville Classic or Gulf Coast Showcase. I'll talk about more on my own time. Probably Sunshine Slam. I know that I do want to ask Kevin, because I know he's been watching. I mean, Siena without Michael Ealy is a disaster.
I've barely watched, like, the film, so I don't have as many thoughts as I would think. But, like, yeah, I mean, amazing that, like, you take a team that, like, is kind of like a little short on ball handling and a little short on scoring, and, like, you take away the one guy who's good at those things, and you start playing all these freshmen. So yeah, like, it doesn't look good. Like, it's not rocket science. I think they'll be fine when he's there. It would have certainly helped if Drew Gordon was cleared. The appeal process is ongoing there, and we'll see what happens. But I think Ealy, assuming he's back shortly, and I know he was shooting in practice today, so regardless of whether he plays this week or next week or whenever the game is or not, I mean, it's really about the MAC for them, and it's about for the MAC for pretty much every MAC team. And, you know, I still think if he's healthy, he's one of the best players in this league. So
absolutely,
you know, they'll settle down.
And that's also really interesting on the beach side of the bracket. There's 4 really interesting teams. I mean, there's FSU looking to bounce back from some difficult years, UNLV, who's already got that embarrassing loss to Southern, Colorado, who is really has a chance to maybe not make a statement, because there's not any, like, top 25, even 50 competition in here, but they could kind of avoid fraud status this early in the season if they do what's expected of them here. And then there's Richmond, who they played BC pretty close. I mean, that's not really an accomplishment. I'm definitely going to have my eye on that. Colorado's probably going to win it comfortably, but I'll definitely you'll hear more about this tournament if Colorado loses than if they don't on this podcast.
Yeah, that's exactly my thoughts. If Colorado is as good as some people think they are, they should probably win this tournament pretty handily.
And we also probably won't talk about it until we absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Now to Maui. This is such a stacked field. And it just so happens that Syracuse is in the field when it's super stacked, and it's the first year under a new head coach. And it's not the right time for Syracuse to be in this field, but I could see a whole host of different teams coming out on top here. Just Purdue Gonzaga as a first-round game, that's electric. UCLA Marquette as a first-round game, also electric. This is going to be such a great tournament that even though Syracuse is going to go 1-2, I already know that. I'm going to be so excited just watching these games because it's not going to have the same feel outside of the Civic Center, but it's going to be so great.
It's everything, right? I mean, I think the Purdue Gonzaga rematch from PK 85 last year's kind of Braden Smith coming out party. Obviously, that will be entertaining. Excited about that. To me, I like Tennessee and Marquette the most here, probably just because I think Marquette has 3 elite players and knows who they are right now, and I think Tennessee has the combination of talent, depth, skill level, and defense to really push. So to me, those are the 2 favorites, and a lot of people think it's crazy with Kansas and Purdue. But yeah, I thought Purdue was good against Xavier. Like, no issues there. I think Braden Smith made a leap. Obviously anyone could win it of those top 5. I think honestly the team I'm probably most interested in is like, how does UCLA look, right? I mean, obviously Burkay is still not cleared. Want to see what he looks like eventually, but like, they have not put away anyone, and I'm interested to see, is this like a wake up call where they get blown out, or do they like really push a good team? And if they really push a good team, like that will show me something, right? I want to learn about this UCLA team. Like I was really high on them in the offseason. I felt like Mick could get these. I was kind of buying Mick's rhetoric about like, I hate high school kids in America. They're so soft. Like I really want kids who've been like coached by some guy who was like smoking cigs in their faces when they were 14. Like that. I kind of bought into it, and it seems like it's been a little less smooth than anticipated. But it's also like you're teaching you're teaching college basketball to kids who like don't like really know anything about college basketball. And that's harder than people really realize. So honestly, that like to me, like they're the most interesting team in the field. I think it'll be a big story if anyone other than Purdue and Kansas win it. And I think that my championship game won't include Purdue or Kansas. So.
Really? I mean, I think if Tennessee or Marquette win, it's not like a big surprise. I mean, I'm picking Tennessee here for sure, because Tennessee to me has been probably the most impressive team of anybody in college basketball from what we've seen. I mean, Dalton Knecht looks like the best player in the SEC. There's depth in this backcourt. There's depth in this front court. They're my number 1 team right now, and I expect them to be my number 1 team coming out of this. I am really excited to see Braden Huff for Gonzaga. I know John Rothstein tweeted about it. He's like, Feast Week breakout candidate, Braden Huff. And I'm like, wait, that actually sounds like it's a coherent thought. It's not just – it probably was just like something that the robot spat out, but it was actually something interesting to hear. Also, if Syracuse can hang around really with either Tennessee or the loser of Purdue Gonzaga, that would be a good sign. And
yeah, I'll take Tennessee here as well. I think they're really on right now. Like Zakai Ziegler's not even starting yet, and they've been just rolling. They're not as good defensively. I think that's pretty clear, and I watch every single Tennessee game start to finish. So I like, and it's interesting because Wofford slowed them down the other day, and usually, like, if you slow Tennessee down last year, you probably aren't winning the game because that's how Tennessee wants to play. They want to muck everything up, but Tennessee can get out into transition and play fast and win these games now. And I think their path is like probably the best outside of Kansas in this tournament.
So I also think this is tough for a team like Kansas that is just not deep whatsoever. They have basically no bench, and they did get lucky as they faced Chaminade in the first round, so they'll probably be able to get their walk-ons in that game.
Jamari McDowell, 25 minutes. Let's ride.
Yeah, we talked about that the other night.
It's not ideal, but it's obviously not put up or shut up. They don't really have a ton to lose at this point in the season.
If he comes off the bench and plays defense, that's more than Parker Brown or Johnny Furphy will do.
So. Yeah, and this is just for Kansas, not where their team's going to shine. Their team is going to shine when they're deeper into the season and they are more gelled, and guys like Furphy and El Marco are more ingrained into the system. And I know it's tough to say that like they're not going to make it far in the tournament because they're not deep, and because we've seen not deep teams make it far in the tournament. But a tournament like this is not great for a team that isn't deep at all. And as you mentioned, Kevin, it's a big litmus test for UCLA, a team that both Jonathan and I were really, really high on in the preseason. They've definitely been a little disappointing, but you can kind of forgive that first few games of the season with this many new players. Rocket Mortgage Fort Myers tip-off, the Beach Division. Virginia had a vintage Virginia scoreline tonight, 62-33. They beat Texas Southern. And they'll face Wisconsin. West Virginia will play against SMU. The Virginia-Wisconsin game is definitely going to be one that I'll have my eye on.
I would think that's kind of like self-inflicted torture, but whatever you enjoy.
I won't be watching it. I'll be stat watching it, but I will not be watching it.
Fair enough. That'll keep the eyes from bleeding for another day.
I'll be at the Garden for that, so I will not.
I actually think Virginia is a little ahead of schedule. Like defensively, with new guys, I think it's been a struggle for Tony Bennett teams in the past. I think he's done a nice job this year, kind of getting guys up to speed. I think it helps that their bigs have been good. Like I think especially Blake Buchanan has been a lot better than I would have tweeted early. Obviously, a talented kid, but freshman bigs is tough, and he's been good. Some of the young guys have been good. Leon Bond has made an early impact. So I was one of the few.
McNeely didn't play today, so that's something to watch.
I was one of the few though who had Virginia ranked preseason. I feel good about that.
I had them ranked.
I did too.
Very good.
There was just a lot of random hate based on where their transfers were coming from. It's like, just because they were playing at St. Thomas and Merrimack doesn't mean that Minor and Rhodey aren't good. Like I saw a bunch of just things. Oh, they're coming from transitioning D1 programs. Like they were all first team in their conference last year, and Minor was the best or second best player in that league, and Rhodey was like a top 3 or 4 player in his league. So I don't get. I never understood that point. And I think Virginia's pretty good. But Wisconsin, they really picking up another loss here would be. I mean, 3 losses before, 3 losses within November is not good for Wisconsin. Trying to bounce back from not making a tournament last year. I know none of them would be bad losses, but you got to have at least one up win, I would say.
Yeah, and this schedule is not easy. I mean, Marquette, I know they get them at home this year, but Marquette on the 2nd of December, Michigan State on the 5th, Arizona on the road on the 9th. They're going to have to find a way. This is the chance to get one because it ain't going to be easy in that stretch.
Yeah. And West Virginia is one strange basketball team.
I think we just go with not good.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be anything.
That's the word I would use.
Yeah, they're not going to be anything, but they are certainly something to watch.
Circling back to Virginia, I think, and this is probably coming from the person who had them ranked higher than maybe anyone in the country. I had them ranked 12th in the preseason. And I think they're just really tough to prepare for because they got three. Like, we talk about these breakout sophomores, and they got three of them: McNeely, Bond, and Ryan Dunn. And you can get 10 to 15 from any of them on any given night. And you add those three to
I know another team that can get 10
know
to
their
15
role.
out of 3 breakout sophomores on any given night.
Yeah.
They may or may not go to the same school that I do.
But yeah, you add those three to bigs that will know their role, and then a guard and Reese Beekman who'll be all conference and probably one of the better perimeter defenders in the country. So I think like add that to pretty good coaching, and you got yourself a really good basketball team that I think was really undervalued in the preseason.
Yeah, definitely with you there. Not going to get into SoCal Challenge right now. Not going to get into Cancun Challenge right now, although James Madison is in that, and I mean, they're ranked right now in the AP poll, right? They got like that. I really want to see how long that lasts, because they should win this tournament, but they
could go 0-2 here.
But there's definitely potential trapdoors. Hall of Fame Classic, that is Boston College, Colorado State, and then Creighton, Loyola.
I'll be beyond shocked if anyone besides Creighton wins.
Yeah, I would be beyond shocked if anyone really puts up a fight with Creighton here.
Do not be surprised if Colorado State scores 1,000,000 points. I don't know if they can beat Creighton, but Colorado State's going to score 1,000,000 points.
Yeah, then Creighton will score 2 million.
Yeah. Creighton
defensively has not looked that great, but they dropped 90 the other night with Ashworth doing nothing. Trey Alexander almost had a triple-double. Future lottery pick Trey Alexander almost had a triple-double. He looks
every time.
Yep, every time. I'm going to do it every time because he hasn't given me a reason not to. I mean, he's in the National Player of the Year conversation right now. I mean, granted, that's like a 50-person conversation.
Hey, there are not a lot of freshmen right now that I would consider lottery talents most years. So,
yep. Atlantis. Going into the season, 2 weeks ago, if you told me that I would be picking Michigan to win Atlantis, I would have laughed you out of the building. But I think I'm going to do it.
I don't think it's crazy. They've been obviously awesome. I try not to overreact too much to potential shooting variance, right? I don't think Will Cheddar's going to keep shooting 77% from three, and probably Terrence Williams not going to keep shooting like he's an NBA 3-and-D wing. But, it's been encouraging. Doug's been really good. Obviously interested in seeing North Carolina here, how they handled this test. First real test. I mean, they've been good, not great in these bye games. Still figuring out some stuff rotationally. And then Texas Tech. Texas Tech has been a team that I was kind of in on. They've slogged their way through these last 2 byes. Not overly impressive in either, but I have a feeling that they will be ready to go. So it's going to be an interesting field. Obviously, Memphis super old. Very wide open, but all I know is for the for as you said, I mean, for Michigan to feel like a team that is not just good but potentially great is kind of the story if they can do it. And it does feel very reminiscent to Juwan's first year when they were also in Atlantis and they ripped through the tournament. I think they beat Gonzaga by 20 in the championship. And then all of a sudden we're the number 1 team in the country and Juwan Howard was anointed the dean of coaching. Then he turned around and lost by 15 to Chris Mack Louisville then 2 days later, which was just, what happens in college basketball. So,
yeah. Overall though, also for Villanova, this is important. I mean, you pick up that early loss to Penn and there's a lot of questions swirling around. You get Texas Tech in that first game. Again, you got to get in that winner's bracket, have some chances at some good wins.
Yeah, this is really hard to pick a winner here because
if you
I feel like every team in this tournament gives you pause.
If you lose that first game, if you're Villanova,
North
you
Carolina,
get
in
more than
my opinion,
Iowa.
is North Carolina, in my opinion, is like playing the wrong guys. Villanova lost to Penn. Texas Tech, first year coach, still like them, but yeah, they haven't looked super great in ball games. Michigan's looked really good, but their first round matchup with Memphis is tough. Vice versa for Memphis, and then Arkansas has a billion players again, and we'll see if they can be consistent for 3 straight games here.
I think just to kind of close the book on Atlanta, it's like the only thing, the thing that these tournaments are great for is the opportunity to start to piece together, like, okay, like what wins actually meant something. Now that we have some data points, right? Like we're everything for Michigan is like contingent on the idea that St. John's is actually okay. St. John's didn't look so great today. Like St. John's turns around and loses to Dayton tomorrow and goes like 1-2. All of a sudden, and Michigan loses. You know, yeah, like maybe they're not very good, right? Like same thing with maybe it's not as good as everyone thought they were, right? Same thing like Memphis. Okay, Memphis went on the road and dominated the second half against Missouri. Cool, that's a great win on paper. All right, well now if Missouri loses to Minnesota, okay, like let's and Memphis is like. We're still learning about these teams in real time.
Mizzou's cut it to 4.
Yeah, Mizzou just cut it to 4.
We shall see.
And UMass Lowell up by 5 with 1:21, up by 3. There's a bucket for Jamia Neal, and ASU's on a 7-0 run in the last 36 seconds.
Jose has 18.
And he's only taken 8 shots.
What part of that's more surprising to you?
The fact that he's only taken 8 shots. I would assume that he could get to 18 on like 14 shots and 11 free throws.
Mizzou, by the way, on a 22-6 scoring run over the last 6 minutes.
And O'Connor just fouled out for UMass Lowell.
What do we have left still to get into? NIT season tip off.
Yeah, the NIT season tip off
events.
In Brooklyn. ESPN events. Yeah, we should get into ESPN events because that is one that, I mean, everyone will always have their eye on it because it's a great event every year. And I think for Butler, it's a big first test against FAU, and Butler's looked a little better than I think we would have thought. But again, as you said, what wins mean anything? Can Butler push FAU?
Yeah, I mean, they can push them, of course. I mean, FAU's not going to overwhelm them with talent, right? It's a connection thing. It's their discipline, their experience, and Butler being so early in their journey, I think, is the thing that is really the question. I guess we'll learn a lot about them against Michigan State. We'll learn more this next weekend at ESPN events. I think FAU will get pushed there. That being said,
2 tie games now: Wake Forest, Utah, 60-60. UMass Lowell, Arizona State, 67-67.
So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. To me, like my favorite team in this event is Iowa State.
Yes, and they've also looked incredibly good in these bye games with Taman Lipsey shooting 3s now.
I mean, yeah, that's huge for them. They just haven't had enough shot making, and so to have him improving as a jump shooter, to have Momcilovic shooting the ball as well as he has. I mean, it opens some things up for them without question. How good they'll be, we'll see. But in a tournament where really only A&M is like a proven commodity, I guess FAU to a degree is. I mean, the experience off the Final Four, but I think the A&M's the easiest to trust. FAU next easiest, but Iowa State to me might have the most upside of that group.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance, and like VCU's also looked pretty rough, so. I think Iowa State also has a very favorable first-round matchup there. And then they have a pretty clear road to the finals. Nothing against Boise State and Virginia Tech. Boise State's pretty good. But I think Iowa State should have absolutely no problems getting to the finals here. And then whether it's FAU or A&M or really whoever it is, because honestly, there's a world where I can see any of those 4 teams making it, because like, hey, Penn State can beat A&M, Butler can beat FAU. Like, there's a chance that both of that happens. It's pretty low, but I don't think that those first round matchups are necessarily walkovers for the favorites there.
Yeah, the team that I'm really interested to see in this is Boise State, because there's been a lot of buzz about them being a sleeper in the Mountain West, and they took care of San Francisco last weekend. It was a good win for them. Like, if they're actually a sleeper in the Mountain West, like, they'll surprise some people in this tournament. And like, they don't need to win it to surprise some people, but like getting to a championship here would probably be pretty big for them.
Yeah. For Boise State, I mean, get like 2 of those power conference wins against Virginia Tech, Iowa State. Iowa State will almost definitely end up being quad 1. Virginia Tech probably will be quad 2. And for FAU, they're going to have probably a crapload of fans coming over for that. It's in their state. I mean, obviously, A&M will travel, Penn State will travel, but I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see, like, FAU fans.
I actually think the most fans that'll be there is Iowa State. Having seen
Iowa State travels everywhere.
They travel everywhere and they drink everywhere.
Honestly, I've never really thought about that.
Whichever like hotel they send, like the Iowa State block, like if they're like the Wide World of Sports hotel or whatever it is, they're gonna like run out of beer by 4 p.m. every day. It's great.
All right.
When I was at the Big 12 tournament a couple years ago, and like Iowa State lost in the quarters, I want to say. Yeah, they lost in the quarters. They got crushed in the quarters, actually. And like the morning of the championship, 2 days later, the lobby of my hotel is still like being loitered by.
They love the hotel lobby. It's like
I've never been to any event with Iowa State.
Something draws them there.
Frankie Collins, by the way, just had his 7th steal, and Arizona State has a chance to take the lead against UMass Lowell. This tournament, I do think Iowa State's going to end up winning this tournament. They have the easiest path to the final, and they were my highest ranked preseason team of anyone in this tournament anyway.
Yeah, that was A&M for me. That's who I'm going to take.
All right. Kevin, do we still have any more time for anything else, or you got to go?
Probably a good time to wrap up. I feel like we've gotten across most of the important stuff.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to keep going here. We're not quite done. We've still got some of the more granular stuff to really dig into. But Kevin, thanks for coming on. We'll try to have you on again, but I mean, you're a really busy man.
Well, hopefully we can do it again. Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you. All right. Now we can, by the way, the last 36 seconds of this game, stat broadcast is not loading. So something may have happened already.
I'm going to send the link over to David.
Send it over to David.
Yeah, he's at video still, so he'll join after the game.
Yeah, by the way, the game over there, 67-63 Minnesota. God, like,
this has like gotten to a point where like, should Caleb Grill see the floor? Nice pass. Come on, Tamar. I'll follow them on a 3. Let's go.
All right.
Tamar Bates is going to have 3 free throws, chance to make this a 1-point game.
Who's going to have 3 free throws?
Tamar Bates.
All right. Now, let's get into some of the other tournaments that we didn't get. By the way, we need to write down who we actually have winning these. Were we doing that?
Well, I have Silver Sword, so like we can just like compile it.
But that's not updated with new thoughts.
I mean, you can redo it, can't you?
I also wasn't looking at brackets when I was doing that. I was just kind of like picking.
Oh, I was. I actually took that seriously, but like, I kind of might want to change my Nova pick to win Atlantis.
All right. Could you write down like who I'm picking in these? Because I have a million different tabs open.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to my notes and open a new note and just write a bunch of teams. So,
all right. So
do you want to just go through these one by one? And like we can start with the ones we've done so far, and then I'll put mine in too.
Yeah, we didn't really have a set format for this show because we were just kind of flying blind to know what we were gonna do.
Yeah, we wanted to discuss the important stuff with Kevin, and by important stuff we mean the big MTEs.
Yeah. All right. Do you have your notes app open?
I do.
All right, Myrtle Beach. We both have Liberty.
Are we just saying rest of the tournament is what counts?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Liberty.
Charleston, Houston,
Um,
and Arizona State takes the lead. Jose Perez with the jumper. ASU 69, UMass Lowell 67.
one sec. I gotta write down when I do this what tournament it is, just so when we post it.
Their first lead since 3-0, and a foul against Neal. Oh, ASU has a foul to give. So
Mizzou has a chance to take the lead at the line right now.
Hold on.
And Tamar Bates makes the front end to the 1-1. What's the next one that we did?
Hold on.
I'm holding.
Tamar
just missed his first free throw of the season to give Mizzou the lead. So we're tied up at 67.
All right, tied at 67 there. 69-67 in Tempe. 12 will run for ASU down the stretch.
Carrington turns it over.
69-65 Utah, which is certainly interesting there. We had Legends Classic presented by Old Trapper, which is the Auburn one, and we all have Auburn there, right?
Yeah, we took Auburn.
What's going on in that game, by the way, right now?
They blew them out. They're up big in the second half if it's not over yet.
Yeah.
83-59 Auburn right now. 15 for Holloway, 15 for Broom, 11 for Williams, 10 apiece for Moore.
Oh my God, who's 4 for 20?
Huh?
Marcus Burton's 4 for 20.
Yeah, I wonder which Auburn guard has him in hell. By the way, New Mexico is like dangerously close to losing to UT Arlington.
Tie game, Yuri Covington. It's both free throws for UMass Lowell with 9 seconds left. Oh my God.
Who's the
1 second left. What happened? Oh, Frankie Collins. He gets the layup with 1 second left of stat broadcast. This game is awesome. 71-69.
By the way, Utah is up 4 on Wake Forest with 3:10 to play.
Yeah, no, I have that. I'm watching that game.
Okay. 26 for Brandon Carlson.
You know, what channel is the Missouri-Minnesota game on?
It's a BTN game.
All right, so I'll be able to turn that on here as well.
So what the next one was Legends Classic. We both picked Auburn. What was the one after that?
No. Well, that was the next one we talked. Oh no, Bahamas. Miami. We all have Miami.
Yes.
Paradise Jam.
We haven't talked about that one yet, right?
Yeah, but we have not. You want to talk about it right now?
Yeah, let me pull up. I'm on the blogging. By the way, this shout out blogging the bracket. This is the greatest.
Shout out Chris Daubertine. He doesn't use Twitter anymore. He's only on Blue Sky now. But
this is consistently. This is annually the greatest article ever.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Let me take. What did you say was going on in New Mexico and UT Arlington?
Huh?
What did you say was going on with New Mexico and UT Arlington?
New Mexico led by 1 with like a minute to
They
go.
lead by 2 now.
14 seconds. Minnesota
And
up 1 minute 20 to go.
And New Mexico's going to the line.
Okay. Honor on the drag screen. Gets the switch on Garcia. Honor step back 3 for the lead. Nope.
All right, now to
off Minnesota.
All right, Virgin Islands, Paradise Jam, Norfolk and Fordham, then Abilene and San Jose State, Hampton and Kent, then Mo State and FGCU. I think Kent State probably ends up taking this.
I'm taking Kent.
But like really good litmus test for Fordham. Like you lose that game to Cornell.
They should handle Norfolk.
I don't know. I mean, Fordham they've struggled with Wagner at Rose Hill. Norfolk is obviously not very good, but they're not that bad either. And then there's Abilene in there, who's not bad either. San Jose State is also really not bad.
All right, let's wrap up this review here. Like, not talking to you, I'm talking to the Minnesota game. Like, that was clearly off Carrington.
Ball game over. Arizona State beats UMass Lowell.
Well, I'd say that's a good win for Arizona State, but it's really not. That's a game they should win. That sucks. UMass Lowell blew it. That would have been fun. All right, next one.
Hold on. Including the game.
These peanut butter pretzels are calling my name. They're gonna be essential on the drive back home tomorrow. Sam, have you ever had these?
No, but I've had other types of pretzels.
Oh, no shit. Other types of pretzels. Yeah, congrats. You're not the first person.
I'm a pretzel connoisseur. I like a lot of different.
Okay, you need to try these. You can get them at a Walmart or literally anywhere.
Tie game, UT Arlington. Micaiah Williams for 3 with 4 seconds left.
They missed the second free throw.
New Mexico missed the first free throw.
Okay. Oh, it was double bonus. Oh, he had him on the slip, missed him, hit Nick in the corner.
All right. Paradise Jam, we both have Kent.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Noah.
That's a
Noah
deep
Carter, 3. Nick Honor. That's a really deep 3, and he missed it.
I just said.
Don't fall.
All right, hold on. What channel is this? What channel is this New Mexico game on?
Don't spoil this for me.
Hold on. What channel is this New Mexico game on? I gotta find this.
Hold on. Let me mute myself.
New Mexico basketball channel.
Sorry, I had to yell at my roommate to not spoil the game for me.
It's probably on Plus.
Christy
is it?
For 3. Nope, not even close.
No, hold on. Mountain West Network. Just quickly get to Mountain West. Oh my God. I'm sorry, by the way, to our viewers.
We're talking about 2 different games right now.
I'm just trying.
No, New Mexico game. Mizzou's down 1 with 16 seconds left.
Hold on, but I want to have this game up as well, which I don't think it even. Hold on, men's basketball. Yeah, here it is. Found it.
Okay, great. Let's.
5.3 seconds left. 80 to 80. It's in timeout right now.
Is Jalen House playing?
No.
Interesting.
I'll take you through the last 5 seconds there of regulation when we get back from timeout. But yeah, there's that. That's a game. All right, back from timeout. It will be Amsil to inbound. They get it in. It's Donovan Dent across the timeline into the lane, and he got it! Layup with 0.5 to play, and New Mexico survives on a Donovan Dent game winner!
Kid's good. Kid's really good.
Wow. Donovan Dent just went coast to coast, Euro step, tough layup, wins the game for New Mexico. Donovan freaking Dent.
All right, Missouri time. Coming out of the timeouts. It's Honor, Carter, East.
What's the stat line for Donovan Dent? I gotta find that.
Bates and who else? Is that Tanjay? All right, here we go.
Donovan Dent stat line: 25 points and 5 assists.
Oh, East, come on. Foul. And 1. Come on, let's go.
By the way, Mashburn had 29 points. And Donovan Dent was the one who took that final shot. He took that final possession and won that game for New Mexico.
Oh, Sean, what a freaking play.
And this, by the way, Amsil had 0 points in 19 minutes. Nelly had 5 points in 22 minutes. So the transfers are not looking great. But thankfully for New Mexico, JT Toppin looks great. And Mashburn and Dent are great.
Timeout Minnesota, 9.9 to go. Mizzou leads by 2 on the N1.
All right, back to the MTEs. Main event. Who did we end up picking there?
I'm taking St. Mary's.
I will too.
This is called main. This is main event, right?
Continental Tire main event. Yes,
Yeah,
last year.
I don't need to write
Last year it was awesome.
Did San Diego State and St. Mary's play in this last year?
No, last year was.
Well, they just played a game.
Last year was Virginia, Baylor, UCLA, and.
Oh, that's right.
Illinois.
Yeah, that tournament was lit.
Yeah,
Virginia won it, right?
With Terrence Shannon Jr. had like 1 million points, and then
UCLA finished 4th and was like arguably the best team of the bunch. Like not even arguably, they were the best team of the bunch. Easily.
Yeah. Arizona tip-off. This is Cactus Division, Grand Canyon versus San Francisco, DePaul versus South Carolina.
I'm taking Grand Canyon.
I will also be taking Grand Canyon.
Hold on. Christie, 5 seconds to go. Honor guarding him. Christie for the tie. It's short. Rebound tapped out. They didn't get it off. Mizzou wins.
Mizzou escapes. Is that the term we'll look for?
Yeah.
Mizzou escapes on the road at Minnesota. What would have been a pretty disappointing loss.
Yeah.
Big time comeback.
Arizona tip-off. What division is this?
Cactus Division.
Cactus.
And Utah, I missed the end of that game, beats Wake Forest 77-70. So now Steve Forbes' team with 2 early losses. All right, back to the MTEs. Oh, also a score check in North Dakota State, Montana. Early in the second half, it's 40-37 North Dakota State.
What MTE we got next?
We have the Desert Division of the Arizona Tip-Off, which is Fort Wayne versus Northern Arizona, and then VMI versus South Dakota.
Deserts. I'm taking Purdue Fort Wayne.
They've actually looked solid so far, but
I know that's why I'm taking them.
me. I want to take South Dakota, but I also don't.
Sounds like a conflict.
Northern Arizona, it is. I don't know. Like, this is a tough one.
Oh, wow, you took a team that you did not name you were considering.
I never said I wasn't. I never said I was considering anyone besides South Dakota. There, really.
All right. Hall of Fame tip-off next.
Hall of Fame tip-off. Yes.
We didn't discuss this one yet.
Yeah. Let's get into it. Mississippi State against Washington State is a good one. I think both of these coaches. I like both of these coaches, Chris Jans and Kyle Smith. Washington State should have a healthy Jalen Wells. He played sparingly in their last game.
Over the summer, you became the biggest Kyle Smith fan. And
No. That was actually like over the last 2 weeks.
He didn't coach a game when you became a fan of him.
Yeah, because I just kind of looked at his stuff.
It was what is the phrase? Off-season fatigue.
Yeah, off-season fatigue. It's the Johnny Furphy effect.
Yeah.
Now Rhode Island, Northwestern. Northwestern's probably who's the favorite here?
I think Miss State probably is. Miss State's like 23rd in Ken Palm.
Yeah, like Miss State's really good, but would it be crazy to say Washington State beats them and ends up winning this tournament?
No, I don't think it'd be nuts.
I'm gonna.
This is at my second favorite building in the world.
Mohegan Sun Arena.
Yeah.
Why do you like Mohegan Sun Arena so much?
I don't. It's just something I say. My two favorite buildings in the world. 2 is Mohegan Sun. You know what number 1 is?
What?
Pentagon.
Yes, the Sanford Pentagon. What a great building that is.
All right, who are you taking here?
Wait, did I call Oklahoma State interesting earlier?
Did you?
I don't think I did, but remember, I have to do 10 push-ups if I call them interesting. we, have to go back and watch the tape.
We'll review the film.
Yeah, we will review the film, and we'll get back to you on that.
Who are you taking here?
Washington State.
Okay. I'll take Miss State.
All right. Cayman Islands Classic. Ooh.
So many islands during Feast
Give me
Week.
Drake. Give me Drake. I want to take Utah State, but give me Drake.
Cayman Islands. Drake hasn't looked too great, by the way.
Utah State hasn't looked too great either, I don't think.
No, Bradley beat him.
Yeah, Bradley beat him, and they in Southern Utah really hung around.
Cayman. Hold on, I'm writing my pick. I'm also taking Drake for the record.
All right. Empire Classic. We all have UConn.
No, I'm taking Louisville actually.
Okay. That seems fair.
I'm gonna say no because I'm not putting that on the record. So yeah, I'll take UConn.
Jacksonville Classic Coast Bracket. George Mason versus Charlotte. South Dakota State versus a Big 12 team. UCF.
Okay.
You know what? Give me George Mason here.
They looked good yesterday.
Yeah, they're 3-0. They beat Cornell. They scored 90 against Cornell. I mean, a lot of teams score a lot against Cornell. They're fast, but Keyshawn Hall looks great. George Mason whipped Austin Peay as well.
Sorry, what tournament is this?
This is the
Jacksonville Coast.
The Coast bracket of the Jacksonville Classic.
All right, who do I want to take in this?
And by the way, do you know what streaming service this is on?
Yeah, I'm taking George Mason.
Do you know what streaming service this is on?
Flow Hoops.
It's called Pass the Ball.
Oh, wait, I see that now. What?
Is this? Do we have a Be the Beast clone? Who names these things?
If you own Pass the Ball, like, you're welcome to come on the next show and explain why.
Be the Beast, Pass the Ball. What are we doing?
This is making Flow Hoops look like ESPN.
Pass the Ball? What is going on here?
All right, who are you taking in the Bay bracket?
Cornell.
I agree.
It's also like they're used to playing back-to-backs, so that'll help them.
Also, something about like the names of these brackets are just like awesome.
Coast Bay. And Pass the Ball.
The fact that somebody sat down and was like, okay, we're going to name the good teams the Coast bracket and the lower teams the Bay bracket. Like, that amuses me for some reason.
Somebody sat down, created a company, and called it Pass the Ball.
And it has nothing to do with like, you know, like machines that pass you the ball, like take shots.
By the way, how much does it cost to stream these games? Let's see.
If the number doesn't start with 0, I'm not paying for it.
The Jacksonville Classic costs $26.
Who's paying for this?
Presumably only, I mean, UCF fans will just go. Presumably.
You sure about that? Orlando and Jacksonville like aren't that close.
I mean, it's better than paying $26 for a stream that's probably not going to work.
True story. Who are you taking in the Gulf Coast Showcase? This is Iona versus High Point.
No, I know this bracket.
State, Louisiana versus Wright State. And
well, Wright State was in the conversation, but without Calvin, they're not.
Right.
Hofstra needs wins.
You think of them?
Yeah, Iona's not healthy.
I am too. I was thinking about taking the beach, but I'll go Hofstra here.
All right. Sunshine Slam, Colorado, and Milwaukee.
By
the way,
there's two brackets. There's two brackets here.
Beach bracket and ocean bracket.
David and I had a lot of fun with this the other day on Marathon. Who you taking in the beach bracket?
I said Milwaukee. No. Oh, that's Colorado.
Okay, hold on. In the beach bracket, I am taking. I'm gonna make a narrative pick here. I'm gonna take Florida State.
Okay, go ahead.
Take Florida State. Getting that one wrong. And then you said you're taking Milwaukee in the.
Yes, I will take Milwaukee.
In the ocean bracket.
I know that it's probably not the. Is there any flashy pick in that, really?
Dude, these teams are all like below 250 in Ken.
I mean, Central has been awful. Central did just beat USF.
I'm taking Milwaukee too.
I mean, Siena's been awful. Stetson is. I mean, they're not great. So give me Milwaukee. Maui, we both have Tennessee. Fort Myers tip off. Virginia.
Hold on, I have to keep up with you. Typing these out is not nearly as fast as saying them. Next one's Fort Myers.
Yes.
Yeah, we're both taking Virginia.
What channel is the Niagara games on ESPN Plus, right? At midnight. I'm just assuming. Niagara's playing Hawaii. I'm assuming it's not on any linear network.
Like tonight?
Yes, tonight. It was scheduled a week ago.
It was?
Yeah. In Hawaii.
Okay, SoCal Challenge.
Hold on. Fort Myers tip off.
We both are taking Virginia.
Okay. SoCal Challenge.
Surf Division.
Division.
This is Bradley versus Tulane and Cal versus UTEP. By the way, David's coming out in like 5 minutes.
Oh, great. We'll have entertainment.
I told him we only need him for like 10 to 15 minutes.
No, I would like to have him for more.
Okay.
Tulane has looked very unconvincing against Nichols in Northwestern State. Bradley's picked up some big wins.
I'm taking Bradley. You know I'm not going against the Braves.
I don't want to take David's here. David, how's it going?
Mixed emotions currently. In my head.
So your favorite team blew a big lead, but your favorite team also had a big comeback.
Exactly right. It was kind of exactly what you can ask for as a true neutral fan of these two teams. Incredible game, went down to the wire. Questionable decisions on both sides. Questionable Caleb Grill play. But Tigers come out with a much needed victory. Could be a season. Oh no, there's a Caleb Grill counter. I'm so sorry.
Oh, there's more than just a Caleb Grill counter.
I saw the Johnny Furphy one, so you can add one there too if you'd like. Incredible, fun game.
Let's see if he can get the third one.
Win.
I don't think he will get the third one.
Yeah, Taman Lipsy is my first guess, knowing you two.
But that's a pretty good guess.
It's a good guess. He is the leader that his team needs.
David, you texted me something as this game was coming down to the wire, and I know you tweeted earlier that you were rooting for Mizzou, but you said to me that Minnesota just like needs this more for the program.
Yeah,
so I'll give you a hint. It's a player that hasn't played college basketball yet.
Mikey Williams. Maybe I was.
It's also not a player who's in federal prison.
Okay. Me and Aiden O'Connor had a fun conversation about him tonight. Surprisingly, I'll keep that in the back of my head. But going back to Liddy's question, I know I mentioned that this was a really important game for the Gophers. So I don't know if you guys were aware, but the athletic department for Minnesota and Ben Johnson himself were giving away tickets to this game. Like students especially got free tickets. Then they had free Chick-fil-A at the game. Like they wanted this arena to be packed no matter what. And it got a pretty decent crowd. One of the better ones that we've seen at Williams Arena over the past 2 years, considering of how disappointment this program's been. Low bar to clear for sure. And it was rowdy, especially after the Caleb Grill ejection. And then let's just say by the end of the night, there was some booze. So this game meant a lot to the program. And the Ben Johnson haters are loud and proud tonight. And rightfully so. I mean, this was incredible mismanagement in the last 5 minutes of the game. And you gotta be absolutely disappointed if you're a Gopher fan.
Yeah. Back to the SoCal Challenge, the surf division.
David, we're going over all the divisions.
So if you have anything to say, you can.
Are we going to talk about the Vapneck division or no?
It's not as fun as it was on Marathon, but it's still pretty fun.
The Vapneck division, I like quite a bit.
The what division?
We'll get there.
What's the MTE that doesn't have divisions on?
There's an let me find it. There's an MTE
all right. Just give me Bradley.
Oh, I found it. Okay, it's the Acrisure Invitational.
Yeah.
Wait, no, this is 4 teams. Hold on. Oh, okay. It's the Emerald Coast Classic.
Oh, that's a good one too.
There's the
Alabama
host,
in it.
There's the host and the visitors divisions.
All right.
And we renamed them because it's in Florida.
All right, we'll get into that. And then in the sand division, now I think Austin Peay's.
Wait, you never made a pick for the surf division.
I said Bradley. Give me Bradley.
Okay.
Okay.
I would want to say Austin Peay here, but that game against what's it called was really alarming. Still gonna take Austin Peay though.
Yeah, I am too.
By the way, Austin
I like their talent for the level of program they are.
Austin Peay has played against 3 teams: Life, Fisk, and George Mason.
Can I can we go back to the
And they also have a game against a team called Midway on December 5th, which is the same day as the game of the century.
Is that McNeese versus Mississippi University for women?
Yes, it is. We cannot go a show without mentioning that game.
We need to start accounting for that.
I want to put this out there. There are new schools created every single year. I swear to God.
Yeah,
and they all spawn in Geico Nationals.
Yeah, exactly. And I hear, like, I see Aunt Wright always making jokes about that. You know, it's like who are these dudes losing to what? But like, what are those colleges that you just said? Mississippi University are there men that go to that college?
Yes, apparently.
And I was like, what was it? Well, Midway? Isn't it like an old World War II battle?
An airport in Chicago.
There was
Is there Love Field University too in Dallas?
By the way, I know they're not a Division II team, but like nothing will ever beat the Aunt Wright tweet from a couple years ago when he said Maryland's losing to a color.
Yeah.
And they were losing to Brown.
Brown, yeah. Or it was when Minnesota was losing to St. Olaf. It was like Minnesota losing to the dude from Frozen is what he said. Oh man.
All right. Austin Peay. The Cancun Challenge.
There's the Riviera
division.
All right. Who are you taking in the Riviera division?
James Madison. I think I have to.
Yeah.
No, I'm going against the grain here. I'm taking Southern Illinois.
Okay, go ahead.
Take Southern Illinois. Don't be a Missouri Valley homer.
I'm going to be. Well, I still can.
James Madison's going to win.
They probably will. But
by the way, Southern Illinois, I wouldn't mind taking them here. I mean, they kicked Queen's ass.
Who are we?
And the Mayan division.
On Flow Hoops, of course.
I'm going to be honest. I will not be watching that.
I mean,
nobody will be. It's on Flow Hoops.
Hey, I thought you had Flow Hoops.
Someone gave me their Flow Hoops login, so I can.
You're so lucky.
Am I? Am I really?
How much is that a month?
More than I'm willing to spend.
David, we were just talking a couple minutes ago. Sam, what's the network called?
Pass the ball.
Okay, so there's a network.
Oh yeah. Yes. We talked about this on Marathon. You like mentioned it, and you're like, I was like, what is that? And you're like, I don't know.
$26 for the Jacksonville Classic. UCF, which is a Big 12 program, a power conference program, their fans have to pay $26 to watch probably what's going to be a phone stream of their team, of their power conference team playing basketball.
Who are you taking in the Mayan division?
Can I take nobody? All of these teams are awful.
I'm taking Radford.
Oh wait, Radford's not that awful.
I know.
Yeah, I'm taking Radford. Radford's not that awful. They're bad. They're not that awful though.
Didn't they? They played a good game the other day against somebody.
Marshall.
Didn't
They beat Marshall.
Okay.
Big South is kind of disappointing.
It is a conference.
Presbyterian's 4-0 though. You're gonna tell all your kids about 4-0 Presbyterian. They play Maine tomorrow.
Dude. Oh, I have to change this. I forgot that there's a Hall of Fame tip-off and a Hall of Fame Classic. It gets me every year.
And a Hall of Fame Invitational, I think.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure there's a Hall of Fame Invitational.
Wasn't Mizzou supposed to be in the Hall of Fame Classic this year in KC, but they were replaced by like Colorado State or something?
I mean, yeah, Colorado State's in this. So
I think that's what it was. They were supposed to be in it, but instead they're just playing Seton Hall there.
Yeah, I was gonna say they play a game in Kansas City against Seton Hall.
But Creighton Hall is going to win this. Creighton Hall.
Creighton Hall.
It's going to be really fun to see. It's going to be really fun to see Seton Hall try to play at Mizzou's pace in like a month.
I don't know, Matt. John, I've watched 4 Mizzou games this year, and fun is not a word
really fast the other night against Albany.
Jaden was at that game, right?
Yeah, Seton Hall's been fast this year. 81 possessions against FDU, 72 against Albany.
The Kaderi Richmond effect.
Yeah, and Kaderi's been great.
We're both taking Creighton. Who are you taking in Atlanta? Who are you taking in Atlanta? Michigan?
Good pick.
I know I said Michigan earlier, but I kind of feel like I want to backtrack.
Okay.
But I'm going to stick with it.
All right.
With zero confidence whatsoever.
I would take Nova, but they lost a Penn, and they don't deserve my respect anymore. And I blame Liddy for that. Liddy likes Villanova.
It's on me. Okay, what I said when we were discussing this with Kevin is like every single one of these teams gives you reason for pause. Like, I don't want to take anyone in the Memphis-Michigan matchup just because I feel like that's a true 50-50 game. So I'm going to take Arkansas, and I'm going to regret it when they're down 2.5 to Stanford.
Liddy, you were going to be the biggest Northern Iowa fan on planet Earth at 11.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll be locked in.
On the day before Thanksgiving.
I'll be locked in for that one.
The Bowen jersey will hopefully come one time.
I like Atlantis because the tournament actually starts at like normal times, and I'm not going to be up at 12:30 watching Marquette and UCLA.
Is there a Bowen Bourne jersey? Because there absolutely should be.
Dude, if it's on DHgate, I could buy it. I could be.
No, if you're buying any Valley player, Liddy, you're buying Tucker DeVree or old Garrett Sturtz jersey. And those are your only two options.
There are a lot of things I would do before I got a Garrett Sturtz jersey.
Dude, he's lit. I don't know what you're talking about. But like I don't know who else honestly.
Hey, you gotta get a Toby Okani UIC jersey.
Yeah, dude, after the other night, Kings of Chicago, UIC. Don't forget
it. Hey, don't disrespect our brave soldiers.
Yeah.
Of the independent army.
The at-large bid Chicago State.
Who, by the way, lost tonight to who? Oh, they lost to Southern Illinois.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Tell him, John.
NIT season tip-off, Sam. Who are you taking? This is Baylor versus Oregon State, which I just cannot wait for. And then Florida versus Pitt.
What's the spread in Baylor? What's the spread going to be in Baylor, Oregon?
Be 25.5.
Yeah, let's see what the Ken Palm spread is.
I bet it's like 18.
Those are always so much slower than they should be.
Oregon State, nearly won their first game last year in the PK 85
against
Duke.
Yeah, that's right. They did.
That was miserable.
But gimme Baylor here. Florida hasn't been convincing. Oh no, wait, Zion Pullen's back.
Correct. Who probably should start for them.
I forgot. I'm talking
Definitely
about
should start. I mean,
the
their
two
point
biggest
guard
Florida,
play has not been
Florida
good.
fans on the planet.
What'd you say?
These are the two biggest Florida fans on the planet.
Yeah, him more than me, but I do like them a fair bit. I'm gonna take. I'll take.
I want to take my heart wants to take Florida. My brain wants to take Baylor. This is a narrative.
I'll take Baylor just because I'm not entirely convinced Florida's beating Pitt.
This is a narrative pick. Give me Florida.
Dude, Pitt's kind of sneaky. Pitt could easily win that game. They're
yeah. I mean,
I agree. I
Bob
agree.
Carrington, the freshman, has been just outstanding for them.
By the way, cannot take him seriously. Like they call just cannot take a guy whose first name is Bub. Like I know it's Carlton, but like they're calling him Bub. Like I just can't take that seriously.
He is not the only athlete at Pitt with the first name Bub. They have a receiver named Bub Means, who actually is pretty good. So
I cannot take that seriously. Twitter has ruined my ability to take the word Bub.
Sam, who'd you say you were taking in ESPN events? Iowa State.
Yeah.
David, who did I take Texas A&M with you on the podcast?
My thing about this tournament that I said earlier that I'm going to say it again. Like, I honestly think there's a good chance that either FAU or A&M loses that first game.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule it out.
I mean,
Penn State's so bad, dude.
Penn State is like quite.
I know Penn State hasn't looked good, but like
Penn State is quite a bit worse than I thought they were.
I could see Butler. Though.
Yeah,
I know. Butler is they're going to have the hangover game because tomorrow is the Pierre Brooks revenge tour, and they clearly do not care about it as much.
Yeah, I'm taking Iowa State though.
All right, Rady Children's Invitational.
The what?
This is a good tournament.
I thought you said raining children.
No.
Oh my God! Iowa and Seton Hall are in the same MTE again.
Yeah,
it's like third year in a row.
We need Iowa Seton Hall in the third place game. I need that bad.
They played a Gavitt game last year.
Yeah, that was Iowa ran them out of the gym.
But they were in the same MTE 2 years ago, I think, right?
I mean, it just seemed
no, they weren't. What am I doing?
I feel like they play a lot. I'm assuming you're taking USC here, Sam?
Yeah.
Watch out for Oklahoma. They've looked impressive.
Oklahoma's looked good. They are up to they're up to 30 in KenPom.
This is a big bounce back spot for USC. Lost a
hopefully Boogie gets healthy.
Yeah, if Boogie and Kobe Johnson and Vince, so like they got to be healthy. But like they have Brown on
UC
Sunday.
Irvine, right?
Yeah, UC Irvine.
Yeah, they lost to Irvine on Tuesday night.
Vegas Showdown.
In Vegas.
Yes, correct. In Vegas.
Was it the COVID year where they played the Maui Invitational in Vegas in 2020? I guess 2020.
Wasn't the Maui Invitational?
It was 2021. They didn't. They played it in like Asheville, North Carolina, or something like that. In 2020.
Wasn't there a Maui in South Dakota, or am I just making that up?
Yeah,
no, I think Maui was in Asheville.
Yeah, Mohegan Sun in the Pentagon probably made bank during the COVID year.
This is
everyone was playing there.
Well, I think UConn was playing in Mohegan, and they were supposed to play like NC State or something. They just beat USC, and they were supposed to play NC State, and then both teams had to go on COVID lockdown. Was that Mohegan? I think it was.
That happened quite a fair bit that year. So
I think
Liz, this is the MTE here where it's going to be like on your phone in bed when you're trying to not fall asleep, because BYU and Arizona State tipping off at like 12:30 a.m. Eastern.
We'll be up.
Brutal.
I'm going to take
Actually,
BYU.
I can't promise you anything because that is on Thanksgiving, and there's a 90% chance I'm in a food coma by that time.
No, this is
I don't eat on Thanksgiving. I don't eat any of that food. So
Why?
Dude,
because I need to stay up for basketball.
Dude, you're like Chandler Bing from Friends. Like,
By the way,
like,
rest in peace, Matthew
rest in
Perry.
peace, Matthew
Yeah,
Perry.
rest in peace,
In
Matthew
the
Perry.
show,
I also just don't like I don't like turkey. Like I don't like.
That's an interesting take.
There's like 85 other things you could have, though.
Yeah, but I also don't like interacting with people when there's basketball on.
You ever had sweet potatoes with marshmallows?
Not with marshmallows, but
Yeah, that's how my family makes them. They're
All right.
great.
Sam does not interact with people from November to March, is what I've been told.
no, I interact with people, not the people that come to Thanksgiving, though.
Aha, yes. Sam's politically incorrect aunt is not going to be given the time.
not necessarily politically incorrect. I won't say anything that'll get me in trouble. But there's after the show. I like my aunt.
Fair enough.
I like my aunt.
Sam, by the way, Sam, if you keep rambling on about how you're not going to talk to normal people on Thanksgiving, it just gets closer and closer to a Rothstein tweets.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't blame him for that.
Average John Rothstein tweet on a Tuesday at 1:50. My third cousin's dog just told me that they're showing up early for Thanksgiving this year. I told him I couldn't hang out because FAU's playing FIU.
Or it's like, my neighbor just heard me scream after a Thanksgiving midnight showing of BYU Arizona State, and I'm incredibly insulted. Go buy your TV at Walmart for Black Friday. I can watch Mark Pope cook or something like that. And
Mark Pope gonna cook?
Last year when he had that? Remember last year when he kept tweeting about that neighbor he had?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, my neighbor's still attacking me for being loud with college basketball.
Okay,
like,
so
John,
hold on.
Like
back to basketball. Is Mark Pope going to cook? By the way, BYU is up to 19 in KenPom.
Dude,
yeah.
Jeff Goodman is intrigued.
They are not winning this tournament simply because of that fact.
Probably.
They need to drop. Give me NC State.
I'm taking BYU just because I'm not picking an injured Vanderbilt team. I'm not picking a Bobby Hurley coach team. And I'm not picking a team that has Mohamed Diarra playing significant minutes.
Dude, he's not playing bad. He had a double.
He's actually playing very good.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Andrews is out for the year. I'm dead. Sorry, that was random.
Wait, this team has like not much depth.
Okay, Nassau Championship on Flow Hoops.
Yes, Flow Hoops. Who
are you taking here? This is not a great tournament, but like Ohio.
I want to say Delaware.
Good coach.
Ohio could be. It's going to be Delaware, Ohio in the final. I know Ohio lost to Cleveland State, but Cleveland State is also maybe not that bad.
They're not.
Yeah, Cleveland State's up to 145. Like they fought Duquesne. They crushed Defiance. They won that game by 61, and then they beat
better program without Dennis Gates. My column.
Danielle Robinson doing a heck of a job in year 2. Won 21 games last. Like holy crap! Wait, Cleveland State won 21 games last year. I did not realize that.
Yeah, 21 games after losing Demoy Hodge and Gamillion is pretty damn impressive.
And their coach.
Yes. And
you mentioned the 2 players, but not the coach who brought them.
And Sternberg. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you taking Ohio, Sam?
Yeah. Give me Ohio.
I am too.
Yeah, give me Ohio.
By the way, GW has also not looked bad.
All right, here we go. Emerald Coast Classic, Vapnik Division.
Division, okay.
No, that's Acrisure, I thought. Oh, no, it is Emerald Coast.
No, it's Emerald Coast.
If I picked Santa Clara here, what would you say?
So the thing is, like, I'm calling this the Vapnik Division on the pod, but, like, I'm going to end up compiling, like, a list of the picks for this and posting it on Twitter. And there's no way I'm posting this on Twitter and calling it the Vapnik Division.
I think you need to. I think you should be more concerned with the name for the other division that we have.
Yeah, that's very true.
If I pick Santa Clara here, what do you say?
I'd say you're very bold, but like I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Oregon. I'd be pretty surprised if they beat Ohio State or Alabama. but they can play with all of these teams.
I need a narrative. I need another narrative pick. Put
What's
the Broncos
narrative with Santa
down.
Clara?
What do you mean? What narrative?
Sam loves Santa Clara. He loves
love
the coaching
Santa
staff.
Oh, I was not
like,
aware. I'm so sorry.
They produce NBA players.
They produce NBA players. They have such a great coaching staff. That coaching staff is just so stacked with Ludwig and Garson and company.
Santa Clara in the last 2 years has the same amount of first-round picks as Kentucky.
Yes, that is correct.
That's the most Jonathan Litzkin take of all time. Or
It's
just
true.
facts.
Hey, you
Like,
can't argue with facts.
They are not going to win this tournament, but like, if they somehow do, this makes me look like a genius.
Mhm.
And I don't really care for Alabama. I mean, I think Santa Clara is going to beat Oregon if Shellstad doesn't play.
I agree.
I mean, Santa Clara has gone up 48 spots in Ken Palm since opening night. Something to be said there. They just beat Stanford on the road by 12.
That's big.
All right. Who do you have, Jonathan?
I'm taking. So the highest ranked team in the preseason for these teams for me was Ohio State, but like they haven't looked all that great. But like I still don't want to believe in Alabama quite yet. So
That's kind of why I took Santa Clara. I just don't really like. I don't have clear answers on the other teams in this tournament yet.
I'm going to take Ohio State.
All right. That's fine by me. All right, the visitors division.
Liddy, what's this one called?
Otherwise known as the Press / Phillips division.
The Press / Phillips division, yes.
Okay.
Sam, I can explain that to you after the show.
I don't really care at the moment. But all of these teams are pretty awful.
At times.
These teams are bad.
All of
Liddy,
these
you
teams
took
are pretty awful.
Southeastern Louisiana,
But
right?
Tennessee State is the one I'm going to take here.
I took CeeLa. Who are you taking? Tennessee State?
Tennessee State. They just beat Portland on the road. That's the only thing I know about them.
Visitors.
Oh, and they have a guy named Christian Brown, spelled like actual Brown.
So you're taking Tennessee
Oh, they have
State.
Jason Vitobo on this team.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Dave, you remember him?
Who? What was the name?
Jason
Vitobo.
Vitobo.
The big kid from Florida who like
Oh,
Just
he's still
gigantic.
around. He's at Tennessee State.
that
Yeah.
dude literally couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Dude, that's like
He has-
Jordan Wilmore still
in
bowling sometimes.
3 games so far this year, he has 7 blocks and 4 steals.
Hey, those are
He
numbers.
scored 18 with 7 rebounds, 3 blocks against Kentucky State.
There's a Kentucky State.
It's not Division 1.
Okay.
He was Ken Palm game MVP against Carlton Fisk.
Hang the banner.
How's
Does he get a medal for that?
how's Western Michigan, by the way?
Awful.
They're awful, right?
Awful.
Okay.
G-Fed University is not good.
So their coach is the former Michigan State coach. I'm forgetting his name. He was Izzo's top assistant for
Wayne
years.
Stevens.
And like he went to Western Michigan to get experience as like a head coach before Izzo retires to like make him more qualified for that job. And it might just completely backfire on
Well,
him.
I mean, they played Northwestern really close the other night, but they're not good. They're 3-0-8. They're 0-3. 3 close losses, but still.
Yeah, I'm taking CeeLa just because it sounds cool to say CeeLa.
Okay.
Oh,
Acrisure Invitational, which is on what channel?
Is it? Oh my God!
It's
It's
on
on
channel.
Beast.
it's on Be the
It's
Beast.
on Be the Beast. And by the way, what city is this being played in?
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs,
No.
California.
No, it's being played in Palm Desert. I don't know why everyone says the arena's in Palm Springs. The arena's in Palm Desert.
You are just,
Go Power. Go
Man.
Power and go Firebirds.
Oh boy. Okay, who are you taking this one?
Coachella Valley Firebirds.
That's who you're taking.
No, I'm taking Hawaii.
Okay. I am going to take the meme pick and take San Diego.
Yes, me too.
11.
When Patella sees I pick San Diego, I'll get those interactions.
All
Arkansas,
right.
Also, watch out, Arkansas State.
All right, that's it for the MTEs.
All right, David, I know you have to head out of here, so thanks for joining us. Thanks for
Thanks for having me.
Minnesota.
Big fan of the show,
Honestly-
and good luck for Feast Week, all your teams, everyone. It's going to be a long and amazing week. It's really what kind of settles college basketball, and it's going to be a good time. So thanks for having me, guys.
You saying college basketball is not settled?
It's not settled yet. Absolutely not right now.
College basketball is never settled. That's what makes it so great.
I mean, that's a fair take. I'm not gonna lie, that's a fair take. I should say settled in the way like the fans are settled in. Like, okay, I'm watching college basketball every day now. The casuals.
The
Casuals don't start watching.
The casuals are still watching.
The casuals don't watch
action. The casuals still have Maction on, and the Ravens beating the Bengals by 20.
Oh, that game happened.
Yeah, Mark Andrews is out for the year.
Joe Burrow
That
also
sucks.
got hurt.
That also sucks.
All right, Sam, I'm going on mute for a sec so I can eat a peanut butter pretzel.
I'm gonna be honest here. I don't really have that much to add at this point. We are 10 minutes away from Niagara against Hawaii, and I could not be more juiced up.
Shocker.
Like, I don't need any drugs. This is my drug.
So I would stay up and watch this, but I have a 6-hour drive tomorrow, and I know adrenaline's gonna be pumping in, but I need to get some sleep, and it really pains me that I'm not gonna stay up and watch Ahmad Henderson play.
Okay, I will update you in the morning after he scores 70 to lead Niagara to a win. Anyway,
Beautiful.
anyone have anything else to add?
It's only me.
We have some Gavitt games tomorrow.
Michigan State, Butler,
Maryland, Villanova.
Yeah.
Also, DePaul, South Carolina, the Chico Carter Classic.
Oh, wonderful.
The Chico Carter Classic. Henry Eisenberg Bowl. South Carolina's building something.
Yeah. And
we had Kevin on tonight.
That's exactly the point I was going to make.
Yes. They also
By the way,
longer.
so unfair that Hawaii gets to play in 2 MTs.
Also, not a Big Ten bench unit anymore because Talon Cooper was not a Big Ten bench player.
No, they moved up to a bottom of the Big Ten starting units.
Yes, and also BJ Mack.
Who's winning Diamond Head?
That's December.
I know. It's like
Who's winning a tournament that's over a month away?
Hey, people make national championship predictions in the preseason.
Okay.
Didn't Hawaii win Diamond Head last year?
Yeah, on a buzzer beater by Joven, whatever his name is.
I don't think that's his last name, Sam.
It's not. Nevada or TCU. I don't know. Portland, maybe. One of the 8 teams is going to win.
Well, one of the teams will win it. This is a tournament of all time.
It is the tournament of all time. I love Kentucky's MTE, the Wildcat Challenge, where they play where they're playing against 2 transition programs. And
They are?
Yeah.
Hey, the Blue Devil Challenge starts tomorrow.
Who's in that?
Oh, wait, no, it already started.
Bucknell, LaSalle, and Southern Indiana. The Screaming Eagles. The Zootown Classic. That's one. That's what's going on right now between North Dakota State and Montana. By the way, that's a close one. 6-point game with a minute and a half. Minnesota Ball State MTE. Oh, okay. What is
we got to get out of here.
Jaguar Classic, First Coast Classic, Air Force Classic, Missouri Tulsa MT, Atlantic Slam, Eastern Kentucky, Joseph J. Biggs Invitational.
That's not real. Oh my
Who's
God.
hosting that is Illinois hosting. The Lancer Joust. Yes. Between Cal Baptist, Cal Poly, Portland State, and St. Thomas. The Market Street Challenge, which is where I will be on Saturday between Fairfield, Drexel, and Queens. I'll be at Fairfield, Queens. On
Flow Hoops.
Flow Hoops.
All right, we're done with this. At least I'm leaving because.
All right, and then I'm done too. I don't really have anything else to add. This has been Brackets, Bubbles, and Bits. What a show tonight. What a show.
What an adventure it always is.
All right, we'll see you hopefully tomorrow.